Okay, in week 11, we covered some material in week 11, and some of the material we covered was the Gaussian and Gauss-Jordan elimination. We introduced linear algebra for a 2x2 system. Same terminology that you use in math-100, consistent, inconsistent, dependent. The only difference now is that we're using what's called an augmented matrix, but there's a great deal of similarity between what you did in Math 100 and this augmented matrix thing. The point of the augmented matrix, though, is it speeds things up considerably. All right. We actually started doing bigger systems. We did a 3x3 using an augmented matrix. Hope you paid attention to our lectures and you have a good idea our goals. Our goals are to take these augmented matrix and to get it into reduced row echelon form and then read the solution from that. We also talked about using Sage code to do that. The deal about this, we did some examples in classroom. Hopefully you're able to follow those examples. Mistakes happen. This is really a place where some students make many mistakes because there's many places to make mistakes. What's nice though, you can always check it with the answer key. If you don't have the answer key, you can always check it with the original system to make sure what you've got is correct. So I'm going to go to the problem set now, and I'm going to do a different share with you. And we'll do the problem set. Again, the hope is you've done this already. All right, let's do number one. All right, let's look at number one. What does it say? You know, write the system linear equation represented by the augmented matrix, use back substitution to solve it, assume the variables were x, y, and z. So let's put this down. Let's put row one down. And row one is going to be, I guess, 1x, right? Plus 2y's plus 2z's is equal to -3. That's row one. Row two, no x's, but there'll be 1y and there'll be 1z, and that will be -11. And the last row, really simple. It says z equals 4. I know what z is. What they want me to do is back substitute now. So what do I get over here? If z is 4, I would get y plus 4 equals -11, which means y is -15. Whoops. What do I need to do now? Substitute back into this question over here. What do you get? X. Well, 2y would be -30, and 2z's would be +8, and that would be -3. Whoops. Let's take a look at this. X minus 22 equals -3. Add 22 to both sides. What do you get? You get 19, right? So what is x? X is 19. Y is -15, and z is 4. We generally like this right as a triple, x, y, and z. X is 19. We'll check with the key later. The y is -15, and the z is 4. Z is 4. Y is -15. X is 19. Let's go to the next equation. This one over here, number 2. And what they want me to do is use an augmented matrix and those elementary row operations to get this thing into reduced row echelon form. All right, let's write this down. All right, put the matrix down first. It's going to be 2, 1, 3, -1, -2, none, 4, -10, 4, 11, -17, and 11. All right, I'm going to look around for things to do. And again, you may disagree with what I'm doing and do something different. We want to encourage that. Do something different. I'm going to look at this and I'm going to say, -1 times row 3 plus row 1 and give it to row 1. Let me write that down for you. -3, 0, -4, -11. That's -1 times row 3, by the way. And row 1 is 2, -1, 4, and 11. Let's do this. What do you get? -1, right? That's not so bad, right? Let's see, -1, 0, and 0. All right. So, someone's, what are you going to do with that? And I'm going to do something that really, I probably shouldn't do at this level, but I'm going to make an erasure. The problem is if I make a mistake and I erase something, I don't know where the mistake happens. I got to do the problem all over again. So I'm going to say this gets erased. This is going to be row 1, which is -1. whoops, minus 1, minus 1, 0, 0. All right. Again, repeat this. If I made a mistake, I'm going to detect that mistake when I check my answers. All right, let's keep going. I am now going to do, let's see what I'm going to do now. I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to say 3, row 1 plus row 3, and give it to row 3. I always playing around with this. All we're doing. So what do you get? Minus 3, 0, 0. All right, let's put this down. 3, 0, 4, 11. 0, minus 3, 4, and 11. Get my eraser out. And I said I was going to give that to row 3, right? So what do you get? 0, minus 3, 4, and 11. Okay, let me erase. And we're just playing around. That's all we're doing. You can get better over time. You're going to make a lot of mistakes too, I'll tell you that. I don't know. Let's take a look at this. And I'm going to say row 1 plus row 2 and give it to row 2. Let's take a look at that. Minus 1, 0, 0, 1, minus 2, minus 10, minus 17. 0, minus 3, minus 10, minus 17. Well, let's write that down. That's row 2 now, right? Let's write that down. 0, minus 3, minus 10, minus 17. My eraser out. And again, I can't say it if you make a mistake, you're going to discover it, but when you check it, and you want to check these, whether with the answer key or not, I'm kind of looking at this, and I'm going to say, let's take a look at this. Minus 1 times row 2 plus row 3, and give it to row 3. Let's take a look at that. You get 0, 3, 10, 17, 0, minus 3, 4, and 11. Let's see, you get 0, 0, 14, and this would be 28. Now I eraser out, and I'm going to erase row 3. And what's row 3? 0, 0, 14, and 28. I'm going to my eraser. Eraser's over here. I'm not saying I'm done yet, but I'm really close. All right. Now someone says, I could have done it quicker than that. And we're not saying you can't. You can. You're going to see things as you start to practice. But that last row looks really simple. What does it say? 14z equals 28, which means z is equal to 2. Right? All right. What are you going to do now? Well, I'm going to do the second row. What does it say? Minus 3y minus 10z, that's minus 20, equals minus 17. Well, I can solve that. Minus 3y is equal to 3, or y is equal to minus 1. Let's keep going. Let's go to the first row. Minus x minus y, which is plus 1, is equal to 0. What's x? X would have to be 1. So now I know what x, y, and z. They want reduced row echelon form though. 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. What does the first row say? X equals. What does x equal? 1. What does the second row say? Y equals. What does y equal? Minus 1. What does the third row say? What does z equal? Z equals 2. This is reduced row echelon form. Now, of course, certainly I wanted to get there, but they also want me to solve the system, right? So what's the solution system? Well, I got this over here. Look at the answer key make sure you're staring at the answer key. And the answer key is in the blue area for number 2. And I'll just read it to you. I do see the reduced row echelon form, and I've got this correct. Make sure I'm correct in what I'm saying. And I got the x equals 1, y equals -1, and z equals 2. All right, let's go to number 3. And I'm going to look at number 3. And number 3 says solve the system. I'm getting a little better at this. All right, let's take a look at this one. I'm going to put my augmented matrix down. And that's going to be 2, 3, -1, -3, -4, 2, -1, 1, -5, -7, -2, -12. And before I go any further, I want to make sure that I copied this right. I like to do columns, 2, 3, -1, -3, -4, 2. I'm looking at the coefficients, by the way. -1, 1, and -5. -12, oh, looks like they're pretty good. I'm going to start thinking about things. I want to get zeros, though. So the way I'm looking at this, I'm just going to simply say row 1 plus row 2, give it to row 2. I'm going to write it down, but I will erase it. 2, -3, -1, -7. That's row 1. Row 2 is 3, -4, 1, and -2. What do you get there? 5, -7, 0, -9. Right? So I just add the 2 rows together. So I got 5, -7, 0, -9. I'm going to erase that. I want to repeat this to you. If I make a mistake, I am going to know I made a mistake just by checking it. And I make mistakes a lot, by the way. The problem with erasing is if you erase your work, you don't know what your mistakes are. That happens. All right, I'm going to keep looking at it. And I'm wondering what to do now. And I am going to say -5, row 1, plus row 3, give it to row 3. I want to get a 0, by the way. Let's take a look at this. You would get -10, 15, 5, 35. I'm just doing -5 times row 1. -10, 15, 5, and 35. Row 3 is -1, 2, -5, -12. -11, 17, 0. And what would that give you? Let's see, 3, 23, right? All right, let me erase. That goes row 3, right? Right here. Let's erase to row 3. -11, 17, 0, and 23. Yep, I know it's tough. -11, 17, 0, and 23. Let me erase this over here. I'm kind of done with that. I want to get another 0. And let's take a look at this and see if I can do it. I think once I do it, I'm pretty much safe. All right, I'm going to say 11 times row 2 plus 5, row 3, give it to row 3. You notice I like to use integer numbers, and I really want to encourage that, by the way. So 11 row 2 would be 55, -77, 0, -99. And 5 row 3s would be -55. Let's see, 5 times 17 is 50, and 35, 85. And 0, and let's see, 5 times 23 is 115, right? 0. Let's see, that would give me, let's see, 3 and 5 is 8, right? 0. And 115, that would give me 16, wouldn't it? Let me get my eraser out. And that's going to be what, row 3, right? Let me erase. I think I'm ready to write my answer down now, because I got that third row and I can read it and I know what the answer is. 8y is 16, which means y is equal to 2. I'm going to back substitute it here. What does it say? 5x minus 7 times 2 minus 14 is equal to minus 9. I'm going to add 14 to both sides, and you're going to get 5. What's x? X is going to equal to 1. All right. I'm now going to go back substitute this into this thing over here. So what do you get? 2 times x, which is 2, because x is 1, at least I believe so, minus 3 times y, which would be minus 6, minus z equals minus 7. It looks pretty simple. Minus 4 minus z equals minus 7, minus z equals minus 3, where z equals 3. All right, so x is going to be 1, y is going to be 2, and z is 3. Let's check it. X is 1, y is 2, z is 3. All right, let's do the next one. Again, we're just trying to learn how to do this. I do want to point out the next one, a little more complicated, but let's take a look at it. And I'm going to put the augmented matrix down for you. And the augmented matrix is going to be 1, none, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, minus 1, 1, 3, 2, 5. All right. Let's see if I copied it right. 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2 minus 1, 1. Yep, looks like they're pretty good. Let's take a look around. I want to get the zeros. So I'm going to say, let's take a look. Let's take a look what we want to do here. I'm going to say row 1 plus row 3, give it to row 3. I think I can do that without writing it down, by the way. So I'm just adding row 1 and row 3 together. So, like 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. Let me have my eraser out. Erase this over here. Again, 1 plus 2 is 3. Minus 1 plus 1 is 0. 2 plus 5 is 7, right? All right, that's done. Erase this over here. Remember, if I make a mistake, I'm going to know it just by looking at the work. Oh boy, this looks like it's going to be a tough one, doesn't it? Let's keep going. And I don't know. I guess I could do minus 1, row 3, plus row 1, and give it to row 1. All right, let's see if we can do it. I can write the result down right over here and see if I can get it. So minus row 3 plus row 1, that would be 0. And let's see, minus 3 plus 1 is minus 2. We'll erase it later, okay? And let's see, 2. Right, you see what I'm doing? So minus 1 plus 1 is 0. Minus 3 plus 1 is minus 2. I get 2. Minus 7 plus 3. Minus 7 plus 3 is minus 4, right? And I said give it to row 1, didn't I? Put that down. My eraser out. Erase this side work over here. Don't really need it anymore. If there's a mistake, though, I won't know where the mistake came from, but I will know there's a mistake. Let's take a look at this. And I'm going to say, let's take a look. It looks really tough, doesn't it? But anyway, let's put this down. So I'm going to say minus, let's see, not minus, I'm going to just say 2 row 2 plus row 1 and give it to row 1. Let's see what we get. 0, right? Minus 2 times, I'm sorry, 2 times 1 is 2. That's 0 again. That's 0. And that's 0. I'm going to put it in row 1 now. Looks pretty odd, doesn't it? Let me get my eraser out. Erase this business over here. And I think I'm starting to realize that I can read the solution now to the problem. It may be confusing to you, though, and hopefully it is. I'm reading this row over here, and I'm going to read it as z, but there are no z's, right? Is equal to 0. Z can be any real number. Typically, we let z equal a. All right? Let's go to the second line. What's the second line say? Y minus a, because I believe z is a, is equal to 2. What's y? 2 plus a. Again, I got this. I got this. Let's do this. This is our third row. What does it say? X plus 3y. Well, if y is 2 plus a, that would be 6 plus 3a is equal to 7. X would be equal to, let's see, 1 minus 3a. Okay, let's look at the key. Z equals a. Y equals 2 plus a. X equals 1 minus 3a. All right, let's look at the last one, which is number 5. And we'll see if we can understand what they've said. All right. Now, I always believe word problems are probably more important than the actual wording of the problem. Than doing these manipulative problems, understanding what you've read. But it says a corporation borrows $1.49 million. What does that look like? Whoops. That looks huge to me. That's how much money was borrowed. And they expand his line of shoes, by the way. Some of the money was borrowed at 3%. So I'm going to say X was borrowed at 3. Okay. Some was borrowed at 4. I don't know. And some was borrowed at 6. Okay, I'm going to say that X, the amount borrowed at 3%, and the amount borrowed at 4%, and the amount borrowed at 6% had to be $1.49 million. I'm going to keep reading it to you. All right. It says, use a system of equations to determine how much was borrowed at each rate if the annual interest rate was $72,000. Well, let's write this down. 0.03x plus 0.04y plus 0.06z is equal to 72,200. I got that covered. All right, I got 3 equations, 3 unknowns here, right? And the amount borrowed at 6% was 4 times the amount borrowed at 3%. So this, how much, the amount borrowed at 6% was 4 times the amount that was borrowed at 3%. So what does it say? The amount borrowed at 6%, which is Z, is 4 times the amount borrowed at 3%. All right, and push this up. Again, I know this is difficult. Somebody said these numbers are too big for me. I think I'm ready to do something though. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply say z is 4x. Let's write this down. X plus y plus z, which is 4x, is 149,0,0,0. Got covered. All right, let's do the next one. 0.03x plus 0.04y plus 0.06z. What's z? 4x is 72,200. All right, let's write this down. Again, I'm just going through this one step at a time. 5x plus y is equal 149,0,0,0. Boy, this is going to be a tough one, right? So 4 times 0.06 is 0.24. 0.24 plus 0.03 is 0.27. Okay, let's keep going. Some people don't like decimals, and I'll be honest with you, I don't like decimals myself. I'm going to multiply the second equation by 100. Let's write that down for you. 5x plus y, 27x or y equals 72,200,000. All right, I'm going to try to make this a little bit simpler. I'm looking at it. I'm going to multiply the top equation by -4 now. Let's do that. Minus 20x minus 4y. Boy, it's going to be some work, isn't it? So let's write this down. I put it aside for you. 149,000,000 times 4. 0,000. 4 times 9 is 36. 4 times 4 is 16. 19. 4 and 1 is 5. Whoa. Whoops. All right. 27x plus 4y, 7. I'll put my commas in over here, okay? 220,000. Whoa, this is a lot of work, isn't it? 7x equals, and let's see what we got here. I'm going to write it down for you. Let's see, I got a bar, don't I? 6 from 12 is 6. That's going to be 2, 1. I got to put that down, right? Oops, made a mistake there. 7's on my brain. Ooh, I got to divide through by 7 now. Did I do that right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Pretty good. Let's see. 1, 7. Let's see what we get there. 56, right? Let's see. 8 times 7, right? 28. 28 is 56. Well, I think I got it. So X is 180,000. Someone says, I don't even remember what X is. You look back. What's X? That's the amount borrowed at 3%. So I'm going to say 188,000 at 3%. Let's keep going backwards. Ooh, Z is 4 times that. Let's see. What's 4 times 180,000? That's 400,000, and then I'm going to be 32,720,000 at 6%. We'll check with the key. Don't worry about that. And then the question is, what's remaining? And I got to be honest with you. Looking at it, I hope you know that X plus Y plus Z is $1.49 million. So what do you get over here? Well, if you add those two numbers together, you're going to get $900,000. But we borrowed $1.49 million, which means $590,000 at the 4%. What do I recommend you do? Look at the key. And what does the key say? I'm going to look at it for you. It says $180,000 at 3%, $720,000 at 6%, and $590,000 at 4%. Things are working out well. I'm going to switch over to Sage just to go through that with you. Be clear and reset. I'm just typing what I'm seeing over here. Let's just pull us through in here. I'll talk about the code once I copy paste. All right. What I want to do is I want to display A for you. And before I do that, I want to read it to you. What does it say? A is being assigned a matrix, and the matrix it has 3 rows. And the first row is 2, -1, 4, 11. The second row is 1, -2, -10, -17. And the third row is 3, 0, 4, 11. Let's just display that, see if that what it looks like. And I'm seeing it. I'm seeing this is a 3 by 4 matrix. Now, what they want to do, and this is really Python. They want me to do the reduced row echelon form of A. And what does it give me? 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, -1, 0, 0, 1, 2. It gives me that, all right, which is good news. All right, so I'm going to say I got something pretty neat over here. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to do that with the question number 5, and I'm hoping you have your notes out for you. And I'm going to write down the augmented matrix for that. And so it was a lot of work to do that. It's really not bad. And I'll write this down for you. I'm going to say A is a matrix, and that matrix has 3 rows in it. And I'm kind of remembering what the rows are. I'm looking at my notes, of course, but I kind of have a good memory. And what is it going to be? 1, 1, 1, $1.49 million. Okay. What's the next row going to be? Well, I'm going to put down 0.03, 0.04, 0, whoops, sorry about that.
I'm
0. Point, that was Siri, don't worry about her. 0, I hit a button somewhere. 0.06, and that was equal to what? 72.2, right? That third row is going to be a tough one, isn't it? I'm going to say -4. There were no Y's. There was 1 Z. Whoops, sorry about that. And it was equal to 0. And I'm going to close it out. Make sure, I made a mistake. Let's put this over here. And I make mistakes all the time, by the way. I got to look at it, wonder where the mistake is. And I'm starting to see. Let me see if I can go back over here. Just 1 second. And I have to look back over my work. I see it now. And I hate to say I see a mistake. And I'll tell you why I hate to see a mistake. I'm not going to retype it. I'm going to copy paste. I missed a bracket. Mistakes are good, though. We learn from mistakes. Good. I got it. Let's do reduced row echelon form. If you can't remember, look back over the notes. What am I getting? I'm getting a reduced. I know there's a lot of zeros there. Don't worry about it. It's 1 equals, 180,000. 1 equals 590,000. This is the X, Y, and Z, by the way. And the last one is 1 equals 720,000. All right. What's quicker? If you can type that stuff in, doing Sage is certainly quicker. Thank you.